Most people wait until something's wrong to see a doctor. You are not most people. I'm Kevin White. After more than 20 years as an emergency physician, I realized the best medicine is not waiting for the crash. It's helping people stay on the road. This is The Daily Apple, a podcast about living better, longer. Every episode gives you something you can use this week. A smarter habit, a clearer path, or maybe just a new way to think about your health. Because engaged patients are the best patients, and your best years do not have to be behind you. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to the Daily Apple, and I'm here with the illustrious and all-powerful Rian Smoak, who, I don't know, if Dolph Lundgren and Bradley Cooper and George Clooney had a love child, it would be this guy right here. Just one of the handsomest guys I've ever known personally, but he's actually came back on my radar. I've known him for some time, and for a long time, and
very long time.
He's kind of come back on the radar, and I've watched his work from afar for the past years, and I've always meant to get back in contact. Really has an exquisite life story and a lot of things that you've done, and definitely doing hard things, overcoming things, really outside of the box. You've really moved far and done some really great things. And I want people to listen to this. So I'm just glad you're here. I'm totally stoked to be reconnected with you. And this is great. Is there anything else I left off on that intro?
You did not, Kevin. And
Yeah.
one, thank you for the opportunity. And like I said, I think back to when we met each other, it was junior high.
Yeah.
You know, at Bethany First Church in the Nazarene,
Yeah.
all that stuff. And, you know, you and I were close friends because we had a lot of us that ran together, but you were always that rambunctious kid that was always into something.
Yeah.
So just think about the stories.
Yeah.
Being with you, it just brings back a lot of great memories, and so thankful that we didn't have cell phones back then.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah, there was a lot. I remember, here we'd work out, and you remember watching Rocky IV, and then we'd be working out, and we'd hang out, and we'd eat my mother's chocolate chip cookies.
Yes.
That was the diet of the time. It's nonsense. But
little
it was
did we
great.
know.
Yeah, but yeah, totally. You're doing some cool stuff. We're going to get into the triathlons. We're going to get into the unconventional way you're doing that.
Correct.
And how that came about. You know, I see you. Anyway, we'll get into that. But tell me, take us through everything and how this whole thing started.
Yeah, it goes back to childhood.
Mhm.
You know, I was always wired a little bit different, and just being athletic and always getting up early and just doing all sorts of things. And I wondered, not till I got older in life did I realize, why was I that kid at 8, 9, 10, 11 years old that working out, doing these things. And it really stemmed from, I grew up with, a father with alcoholism. So there was that aspect in life at home that I was chasing to sometimes get away from it as an escape, but also chasing him for acceptance. And what I mean by that is, if I was a really good athlete, if I was good at athletics, and he would come to my events, he would see that and go, wow, because I was always begging him to stop drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, if I do this, this could save our family. This could be, get him off the bottle. So it was a lot of undue pressure that I was putting on myself at an early age.
How old were you?
I was 8, 9, very formative years. And now, thankfully, to this day, I have an amazing mother who's never not been there for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mission was to never, ever let her down. And so I think that just drove me to be the best I could be and never mess up.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, junior high and high school, you and I did a lot of, rambunctious things,
Mm-hmm.
but I stayed the path. Like, I wanted to be that all-American guy to never mess up. And unknowingly, that was adding so much pressure to the back office of my life that I wasn't realizing the pressure I put on myself. It was to not let, my dad, destroy his life. And so I thought, well, if I do this, and if I'm tall and I'm strong and I'm score enough points, he'll come to the game and be proud and not want to not, miss anything in my life. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I didn't realize as a teen and even young adult that it's a disease. Addiction is a disease, and I carried a lot of animosity. Like, well, if you don't love us enough, just like, how can you love that bottle of Jack Daniels more than you love us?
Yeah.
And so that played a lot of stress in my life to never mess up. And I didn't realize that till I got really into my late 30s, early 40s. I realized, wow, how much that put on me.
Yeah. Was it walking on eggshells at home kind of thing? We've never gotten into this. I didn't
No,
know all this.
we didn't. It was definitely eggshells.
Yeah.
So either if dad came home, is he going to be a happy drunk?
Yeah.
So my sister and I come out and watch TV and that kind of stuff. Or is
Yeah.
he coming home the not happy drunk that him and mom were going to argue? And I would grab my sister, hey, let's go hang out in my room and let's just turn on the TV and just pretend that is not going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so that occurred really up until about I was 14, and dad went to prison for just a little bit for DUI stuff, and went to rehab and was sober for about 18 months. And I thought, man, we finally got this together. Like, life is now, I get to have what all my other buddies were having.
And you're like 10 or 11 at this point, I assume.
At this point, I was 14. I think it was eighth or ninth grade. And I was
Okay.
like, man, we're there. And life was decent. Came to my games. He was sober, and started to have a little bit of, oh man, I'm feeling good. And like anything, he relapsed, and mom's like, I'm out.
Mhm.
I was 16 at this point. And so it's now just my mom and sister and I. My sister's 5 years younger. So that escalated that I got to be the man. I got to be the man of the house. I got to just step it up even more, and not to mess up, to work harder in sports, to all these things that I was putting on myself.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you're about 14, 15 at this time,
Mhm.
and you're always like an athlete. I mean, I remember
Yeah.
you're always just a ridiculous athlete.
Yeah.
So could do anything. Yeah. And then you went through high school, and I'm assuming your parents were still married through that time. And
Yeah. So at 16, I was going into I was between sophomore and junior year.
Yeah.
They divorced.
yeah.
And that was actually a relief in one aspect, that piece of the stress
Yeah.
was no longer in our house. So it was just my mom and sister and I keeping it together.
Mm-hmm.
And, that caused a lot of just different types of stress.
Mm-hmm.
But one that it brought my mother and sister and I so close together, which we are still very tight to this day.
Yeah.
So I am thankful through the fire that it brought out a lot of the bonding that my mother is like everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd tell you a kind of a cool story because it kind of ties into some future parts of later on what we're going to discuss.
Yeah.
I'd be playing basketball, growing up, even through a little bit of collegiate. The gym could be loud, a lot of people, and I'm shooting a free throw, and I could only hear her voice.
Really?
And she would always say, follow through. And of course, there's a lot of this, Mom, but she always followed through.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was just about literally following through on a free throw.
Right.
Looking back as I got older in life, it was everything about
Mm-hmm.
life, following through. To that point, I actually have a tattoo that says follow through on my arm. And that metaphor just resonated later on in life, that, because life at times gets hard for all of us, right?
Yeah.
And if we don't follow through and get through that fire, man, it's tough. And so I think through these moments, in those tough times as a teenager, there was key pillar moments that I was able to take and hold on to, and it came to life that the universe brought to my attention later in life, that really blossomed. It's something I'm extremely proud of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you go through college, and you mentioned to me briefly about, I mean, where you're at now,
Mhm.
all the things you've done, the Ironmans and all that jazz. It didn't start out that way.
No.
You were you were in a different spot. And I mean, after college, we kind of lost, we went different paths and everything. And you found yourself in a situation where things weren't quite right.
Right.
And
Yeah. So, I went to college together. I ran track, did decathlon. I've always loved just multi
yeah,
event type of stuff. So I knew triathlon was something I wanted to do.
right.
I saw it as a kid and, on Wide World of Sports, but I thought that's something that,
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't swim. I could swim from one side of the pool to the next, but I couldn't like swim a long distance.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was just something I did decathlon, got married 2 weeks after we graduated
Oh, wow.
and got married.
Yeah.
4 months later, like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, okay, I'm not getting that bike. I'm not doing these things. All this fitness I had in college, was starting to waver off over a period of years. And I still worked out, but I was also drinking a 6-pack of Diet Coke every day, a bag of Twizzlers in the car driving around for work. The aspartame you put in your sweetener into your coffee. So I thought, this is healthy, right?
Yeah.
And over the course of years, I started getting some weird pains in my body, some nerve issues, and I was like, man, something's not right here.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to several neurologists, did every blood test, every test you'd ever known to man was performed, and it was to the point like, hey, we think you have MS.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about, I was late 20s at this point, and I went home and I was like, I've got
Wow.
2 beautiful young kids,
Yeah.
and is this where my life is headed? And my grandmother, who's no longer with us, she was always very much a health nut. She's like, you got to get off that Diet Coke. That's not good for you and all this stuff. I'm
This
like,
is your grandmother.
yeah, but
Right
yet
on.
she'd drink a can of Dr. Pepper every day. But the diet,
Yeah.
she was like, whatever, grandma. And I was like, let's just see what happens. So I weaned off of Diet Coke and all that stuff. I got off of it. And about
Right.
6 months later, like, I'm actually feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
The nerve pain and this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
the fatigue, was starting to go away.
Yeah.
I was like, man, something might be here. I think that just it became contagious through now starting to become a little bit more athletic and be able to run more and start to lose some weight.
Yeah.
And so that started a spark of being able to go, I don't want to ever put myself in a position that I personally put myself into
Mm-hmm.
where I can't be physically able to be present in my family and friends' lives.
Right. Right. Yeah. You wanted to be there,
Mhm.
like kind of the opposite of what you experienced. And then, I mean, you caught on to one thing is that I tell a lot of our, patients and clients is like, we often sabotage ourselves. Our body wants to be healthy. Our body wants to work at this level, but we kind of sabotage ourselves because of the garbage we inhale or the way we live. But so that's whenever you're feeling better,
Mhm.
obviously, and then you start to train and you start to just
Yeah.
kind of, and you're 29 at this point,
Yeah.
right?
I started feeling better. This took about 6 years to like
Yeah.
really get to that point. Now, if we kind of go back on the timeline to when I was 8, 9, those early formative years of putting a lot of stress on my life,
Mm-hmm.
it started to really play into my first marriage.
Really?
And so I say first marriage from the standpoint is
Yeah.
all that pressure I put on myself
Mm-hmm.
to be perfect, to be the all-American and stuff,
Mhm.
began to destruct my marriage. And thankfully, I'm very close with the mother of my children to this day. She is a fantastic mother. Both of our kids are grown adults and married and doing
Mhm.
great.
Yeah.
But man, that destruction of just, crippled so much of my life,
Mm-hmm.
and got divorced when I was 35.
Did you just put this expectation on yourself that was unable to be met? Because-
Absolutely unable to be met. And we got married, like I said, 2 weeks after college. It was
Yeah.
the SNU thing. Like,
Yeah.
you're Nazarene, I'm Nazarene. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't,
Yeah.
let's do this. And
Yeah.
it's like we loved each other, but we weren't in love with each other.
Uh-huh.
And so it's just like, can't do this.
Uh-huh.
And thankfully, everything was very smooth. You want to call it from a divorce standpoint with the kids, where there was never any issues from that. So I was very thankful for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it got me to this fork in the road, going, okay, I'm 35. I'm getting healthier. I've got some free time on my hands when my kids aren't with me.
Mm-hmm.
Do I either just go sit on the couch and eat Cheetos, or do I go do this triathlon thing that I've always wanted to do?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do, man?
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be hard because you don't know how to swim. So that's a scary thing.
Yeah.
So me being me at this point, I'm like, let's go for it.
Yeah.
And so that got me into the triathlon world, the whole doing some really hard things that made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I was very vulnerable at this point because dad was no longer in my life and I'm divorced. And I'm thinking, man, I've got to get this back on track and
Yeah.
get myself and my soul in a place where I am not carrying this grudge that people are out to get me. So
did you have that feeling like people were out to, like, the ball's getting ready to drop, what's coming around, something bad's going to happen? Was that your mindset?
It was, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
It was always, I am not good enough.
Huh.
Because if I was, you wouldn't be picking up a Jack Daniels bottle.
Yeah.
If I was good enough, this. And so it's always played in the back of my mind. And, therefore the abandonment, like, oh man, if I don't do this, they could leave.
Yeah.
And, it's just this undue pressure. Now, granted, I had the most amazing friends with you guys growing up who had fathers at home. So y'all's dads were like, certain ways, like my mentors of seeing what right looked like from a father's standpoint.
Yeah.
And I appreciated it. I embraced it. But I would also drive home because I lived 30 minutes from you guys on Sundays and Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Kind of like, why can't I have what they have?
That must have felt like driving to another planet.
It did.
When you went home.
Because I would go home and it was just like, that was reality. And on Wednesday nights at, church, and then on Sundays, man, like that was like, I get to go and see what love looks like from an entire family standpoint.
Right.
I had it from my mother and my sister for sure, without a doubt. But just the whole nucleus of a family from a father's standpoint. But I got to see some of my friends with their just great dads going, how cool is that? And I like, when I become a father, that's how I'm going to raise my kids. I'm going to show up and be present. And as my mom would always say, follow through. So again, this is starting to resonate back into my life, the importance of do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, some dads were better than others, I'm sure. I'm thinking of some. I've heard that, I don't know who that comedian is, but like the 80s Christian is the most Christian. Like we talked about Sunday and Wednesday. I mean, if whoever's listening, I mean, it's like Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, and then of course we'd screw around and hang around the rest of the time too. So it was a bizarre kind of crew. Yeah, geez. Anyway,
yeah, so
cool.
I'm getting to this point. So now I'm starting to like, I went and bought a bike.
So you're 35,
I'm
34.
35,
You got free time on your hands. You're going to.
Yeah, and I'm feeling a lot better.
Right.
All that just sitting around on the couch weight was gone. I'm kind of getting back to fighting weight of like college. Like, all right, I can see a couple abs here. Like,
no, man, I remember I told you this. I'm driving down 2nd Street and I hadn't seen you for like a decade or so. And I look over there and I see this dude ripped. And, well, I don't think you have a shirt on, or maybe you have one of those, triathlon shirts that's like a half thing or whatever. But just like, I'm like, and I take a double take and I'm like, I'm a straight man, but that's a handsome dude. That's Rian Smoak. So you're just, and I thought, man, you got in shape. That was, I mean, you've never been out of shape the whole time I've known you, but but that was a whole different
it
level.
It was. And so I got into doing,
Yeah.
like I said, wanted to do triathlons.
Yeah.
And I started doing some small stuff and thinking, man, this is so special to me because I'm going to set out to do what I'm going to do. And I remember doing my first triathlon. It was small. I was in El Reno, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And I did it.
It's like a sprint?
Just a small sprint triathlon. And I remember finishing and I walked over to the lake because I just did it by myself. I didn't bring my kids. I just like, I'm on a personal vendetta here to do this, to prove to myself. But during the race,
follow through.
Exactly. But during that race, it was like, man, I want to do this to prove my dad wrong for not believing in me, all these things. Finished, went down to the lake and I cried. Just flat out, just cried. Like, don't ever tell me I can't do something. don't ever, I was just all this just, oh, and I was like, all right, if I'm going to do this hobby
Yeah.
of triathlon and I got to do it for the right reasons
Uh-huh.
and not to prove myself to somebody who isn't in my life anymore. I was
Mhm.
chasing this ghost for so many years
Mhm.
and it was just affecting, they had this cloud over me. I mean, like I said, I was healthy now, great career, great.
Mhm.
My kids are amazing. Like life was really good, but there's still this dark cloud that only I saw
Mhm.
because I was really good at masking it.
Mhm.
Really, like my close friend, I didn't know that I had all this stuff going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, you were good at masking it, man.
Very good. And because it's like, I just didn't want to show anybody that this part of my life was not in a good spot. Not until I got older in life did I realize, man, everybody has a story.
Mhm.
Everybody has something
Mhm.
that is going on. And having grace and patience for people is something that I'm learning every day to understand more of because
Mhm.
man, I was really good at putting on a happy face. They may be as well.
Mhm.
So one thing led to another. I was doing more triathlons and I just kind of kept doing some longer and bigger ones
Yeah.
because the ultimate is the Ironman World Championships in Kona, Hawaii.
Mhm.
And I saw it on TV as like a 10-year-old going, oh man, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Well, in 2017, I had the opportunity to go compete in that event. And like, I was like, this is my Super Bowl. This is
So
it.
you qualified for it.
Well, as a side note, I didn't qualify from a time standpoint from how everybody else gets in. There was a charity, certain charity for genetic breast cancer research.
Uh-huh.
If you raised $50,000, you got a spot into Hawaii.
Okay.
So, man, I was hustling. I was hustling, dialing for dollars, getting money to raise, and I did. I raised the money, and
How'd you raise all that? How'd you
no, I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding. A lot of flirting. No,
Yeah.
it was just hustling.
Yeah.
And networking with people
Sure.
through careers that believed in me and
Yeah.
believed in the cause
Mhm.
for breast cancer research. So it was something that like this is a one-time deal. This
Yeah.
is never going to happen again, and this is my Super Bowl, and I am going to go out with a bang.
Right.
Go to Hawaii, day of the race.
Do you have a crew and the whole thing at this point?
No, my now wife was there, my mom, my sister,
Okay.
my kids were there, bunch of friends, because it was a big deal.
Yeah.
But it was like, this is so cool, going out with a bang.
Yeah.
And did the swim part, get on the bike for 100. So people at home, Ironman's 2.4 mile swim,
Mm-hmm.
followed by a 112-mile bike. This is in the lava fields of Kona, Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Very hot,
Mm-hmm.
very humid, very windy.
And it's what time of year? It's in the early fall, isn't it?
It's in early October.
Yeah.
And then you follow that with a 26.2 marathon. So it's 140.6 miles. And
when you started this whole journey, you weren't a swimmer
no, I was not a swimmer
at all.
And I remember the first time I went to go swim,
Uh-huh.
because this is a kind of funny story. I go to the lake, I get there, I'm like, I can swim, I can do this.
Is this the El Reno thing?
No, this was at Lake Arcadia.
Okay.
It's just on a normal Tuesday.
Yeah.
Some people on the beach just kind of hanging out. I pull up, got my my goggles, swim trunks. I go down like, Baywatch.
Yeah.
I'm down there like, watch this. And I get in the water and I take about 10 strokes and I panic. I'm like, oh, because there's a certain cadence of breathing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to die. This is it. And I remember I stood up and it was like waist deep water and went panic for no reason.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drown. This is 3 feet of water.
Yeah.
So like, play it cool,
Yeah.
try again. Panic again. Like this is not happening. I remember just grab my stuff, walk of shame back up the beach, got in the car. I think I cried a little bit going, I can't do this. And drove home going.
Were there people there with you or were
No,
you just
I was there by myself.
Okay, there. Yeah.
But I was like, there were just strangers out sunbathing and just having a good time seeing me just flail in the water. And I remember I got connected with somebody's like, I know a guy who gives swim lessons. I'm like, oh, do you? Like, give me his number. Because if not, like this whole thing's over.
Yeah.
And I connected with him and he gave me some swim lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, he's like my best friend ever. Like he's just the most amazing human in the world.
Yeah.
And so one thing led to another, built the confidence,
Okay.
learned to swim, so on and so forth. So now we're in Hawaii.
Well, I will tell you,
Yeah.
you know, swimming's really no joke. I mean,
No.
we all think we know how to swim. I was in Hawaii, and I was in Kona too, and in my mind, it was like early morning or maybe it was evening before dinner. I don't remember what time it was. And in my mind, I was Tom Selleck, Magnum PI, in my own little world of vacationing, and I
Right.
had on, I had on just a snorkel, and I thought I'm going to look at fish and I'm going to swim straight. And I just swim straight until I get out there and I'm like, damn, I'm tired. And then I kind of think, and I start to swim back and crap, I'm tired. And I thought, I'm going to die out here.
This
I'm
is
gonna,
it.
some dumbass doc found dead or out, eaten by sharks or whatever. And then I start to panic too.
Right.
And then I think, oh, I'll just lay on my back and hold my breath and float for a while and then float back. It was stupid. But anyway, so back to Kona.
So did the swim, get on the bike,
Yeah.
set out for another 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
I knew I was like, just trying to get through it.
Are you exhausted? Are you?
I'm more just the adrenaline at this point. I'm just, one thing I wrote on my arm was just gratitude.
Yeah.
And so somebody told me, anytime your mind goes to a dark place on that day,
Mm-hmm.
think of somebody in your life and give gratitude towards.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd have these moments of just gratitude every so often, like, this is starting to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Grandma, a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
grandpa. But soon into the bike, I hear this voice saying, you're meant to do more.
On the bike.
Yeah, on the bike. I'm like, what do you mean you're meant to do more? And it just kept on, like God's going, you're meant to do more. And I'm like, there's nothing bigger than this, man. Like, this is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, let me just do this thing and enjoy the day. And this whisper kept coming. Did the marathon. I'm near the very finish. I'm in town in Kailua, Kona, and I smell the restaurants, the food. And I'm like, whoa, this is not sitting well with my stomach. But there's going to be a beautiful finish line that I've dreamed of forever. There's going to be a lot of photography. I got to look cool because I want to, have a good moment,
Mm-hmm.
but don't throw up. And so I remember coming down this long carpet, lights, the whole pomp and circumstance. And I stand on the finish line. I just let out the loudest, yeah. And I went, oh, it's coming. Yeah, my stomach, it's coming. So I make a beeline to this trash can, did my thing, look up, and I was like, take one last look back at that finish line, take a mental snapshot because this is it.
Yeah.
And I remember doing that. I looked and I was like, I know what I want to do. I know what you're meant to do more.
Mm-hmm.
And that moment, it was, I must give somebody with a different ability their feeling, their moment, their experience of crossing their own finish line, to push them, to carry them, to guide them, and whatever that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So looking back, that finish line became my new start line for what became a new foundation I started called TRI-DAT, TRI, triathlon, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
DAT,
Mm-hmm.
do amazing things.
Okay.
So kind of our slang here in Oklahoma, I'll try that,
Yeah.
but it just kind of became a thing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I've got to find a family that will let me take their son or daughter
Mm-hmm.
with, cerebral palsy, whatever it is, and put them in a kayak, tow them behind my bike, and let me push them. What family is crazy enough to let me do that? And by the way, I know nothing about this space.
Yeah.
Nothing about it.
So you have all this vision. I mean, you're at this high, and if anybody hadn't, I've seen that picture.
Mhm.
You are on. I mean, I'm glad somebody snapped that picture. I don't know who did, but you're lit up.
Lit up.
And the look on your face is ecstatic.
It
and,
was.
and apparently right before you lost your
Yeah.
cookies, but you had all that. As you look back, all that came to you.
It
that
was
vision.
It was like, so I celebrated for a moment, but
Yeah.
I was on a new training path to find
Right.
a family. So I was networking
Yeah.
to find somebody.
Yeah.
Dead end after dead end after dead end. And all I hear now, as I hear my mom's voice, follow through,
Yeah.
follow through, to the point where, so I had this customized cart that is not cheap. And I'd yet to talk to a family.
You bought the cart.
I bought the cart. So in essence, I put the cart in front of the horse. So I bought this thing going, I better find somebody or this is going to look really weird, me pushing around in my neighborhood with nobody in it.
Yeah.
And then it just hit me. I was like, my son grew up with this family, these two twin boys, and one of them lives with cerebral palsy. I know this kid, but I don't know him. So I remember I called my son January of 2018. I was like, hey, my son's like 21 at this point in college. I was like, hey, can you do me a favor? This is what I'm thinking. Could you call Bryce's mother and see if like this would be cool if like I could do this?
Yeah.
And my son's like, Dad, you're a grown man. Do it yourself. And it was like this wake up moment. Like, I don't know if I need to ground my adult son or be proud of him for saying this. I'm like, you're right. And I was nervous. Like to reach out to a family to do this when I have no qualifications. I have no business doing this. So I reached out. His mother's the most amazing mother in the world. She's like, call Bryce. I'm cool with it. If he's cool with it. He was just turning 21.
Right.
So I remember I went to his house, sat down. We kind of reconnected on a few things. As a side note, his dad had died of an opioid addiction a year prior. So he grew up with substance abuse in the house, but he didn't know it. He was really good at masking it, just like I was growing up.
Yeah.
And so we talked about maybe doing the half marathon in Oklahoma City, kept it very chill. Like, I don't want to put you in a kayak yet. And so on Sundays, we go get coffee. We get to learn about each other because in my mind is I'm going to teach this kid and show him so much. That was the attitude I came into this with. Right. Sunday after Sunday after Sunday, I'm like, I'm learning more from him than I'm teaching. Like it was a great learning lesson for me. And because I would tell him, it's like, if I'm working out, you're working out. So we go to the gym, we would do all these things. One of the most bright, brilliant young men I've ever met. Even to this, he's brilliant. But he was in this dark, depressed place in his life because his dad had just, and we had a lot of those same feelings. It was weird how much we carried the same, I got to be better. But yet he didn't have the physical limitations to do anything. And I remember one Sunday we were driving and his story is so dynamic. And I said, Bryce, I challenge you to look into being a public speaker. He's like, why would I do that? I'm like, your story needs to be told. But I recommend maybe going like to a Toastmasters International, to really work on your speaking. They can really help with this. I said, look it up. There's local chapters all over. I encourage you to do this. Now, granted, I said this thinking he'll never do this.
Was this early on in your
relationship? This is maybe
with him?
3 months in.
So you haven't done any races with him or anything at this point?
I don't think we had done anything at this point.
Yeah.
And so I said it like, whatever. I plan to see if he does, he does it. And 2 weeks later, he's like, hey, I went to one of those Toastmasters meetings. I was like, really? And I go, and he's like, I'm going to go again. And little by little by little, today, he's the area director of Toastmasters International for Oklahoma. He is a certified public speaker. He teaches public speaking now. So he went from where he was 8 years ago to being the man. To leading chapters, teaching people how to run chapters, to now he's on the governor's council for Oklahoma to help with passing disability laws, service animal stuff. He teaches classes at OU. Like his life is just remarkable on how it's catapulted. And it's not because I gave him a platform, but together we gave each other this platform to experience new things. And so we have a lot of great stories. We brought in we knew that in order to do what we do and race, we needed some crew, 2 guys dumb enough to like, hey, I'll come in and help you guys out. So again, the guy who gave me swim lessons, Ryan, and another guy, Brandon, I'm like, hey, would you be down to kind of help me do this? And like, if you're going to do it, we're in. I'm like, okay, Kevin, to this day, 8 years later, we've done a lot of races, traveled a lot of places, done a lot of things.
Yeah.
Did a lot of training together, which is just grunt work in the summertime.
Sure.
These two guys never said no to anything.
Really?
Never. They
So who are these guys? I mean, one is Ryan.
Ryan Ellis and
Yeah.
Brandon Morris, just two
Yeah.
guys that I did triathlons with,
Yeah.
but just the most gracious, loving men you would ever want to meet in your life, going, we're going to show up.
Yeah.
And literally they would show up and clean up dirty stuff, just the sweat, just stuff.
Nothing sexy. No.
Nothing sexy about it. And they never said no. And we had the most amazing memories and life experiences because Bryce and I doing what we did brought in people see this and like you saw it. You see it on social media going, what is this? Because is this your son? Is this your, like, no, we're just two buddies.
Yeah.
Well, why would you do this? It's not your kid, Ryan. I'm like, don't ask me that because I don't know.
It's out of my hands.
It's out of my hands. So we started partying, doing stuff, and then we went and did our first Ironman race in Boulder, Colorado.
Okay.
So why not go do it at some altitude?
Yeah, sure.
With hills.
Right.
Like, that's how my
Little
mind
less
is.
oxygen.
The listeners are going, this guy's a little weird, man. It's all starting to track. And so we went to Boulder, Colorado, and you talk about.
So this is your first triathlon.
This is
with Bryce?
our second or third, but this is the first like Ironman. 140.6. Like it was 8 months, 10 months in the training of this. A lot of people flew, like his mom and him drove up. Like it was a big deal. And again, going back to childhood of I cannot disappoint, man. My buddies will tell you, like, I was wrapped around the axle of just
really
till my mind is you cannot let Bryce and his mother down. Because this physically, I have to tow him in a kayak with a rope around my waist. He has basically a cart or wagon strapped to my bike. So all in, my weight, his weight, the equipment's 400 pounds.
Okay.
And so in context, so you think about the bike took us 8 hours and 15 minutes. So 8 hours and 15 minutes of climbing, this and that, just delirious.
So yeah, go through that again. I mean, you're starting with the swim. You've got him, you got him tethered to your waist on a kayak. So you're tracking him for how many?
2.4 miles.
2.4
miles. A
miles.
little over an hour.
And then you're hopping on the bike. He's in the cart behind you, 400 pounds, all equipment. Yeah. And then
you
run a marathon.
Then we run a marathon
with him, and you're pushing.
Correct.
Pushing the cart. Yeah.
And again, going back a couple years prior, I'm like, I can never do a sprint. I can never do a full Ironman because the limits we set on our minds. It's very easy to go. I can do this, but I can't do that. We can do a lot more than we think we can. But that lead up was just I was starting to really stress again about that. I cannot disappoint. And I remember the morning of the race, we're at the Boulder Reservoir and I'm doing all the hugs and stuff. And Bryce is down in the water with Ryan and Brandon in the kayak getting ready. And I'm saying my goodbyes to everybody, terrified inside, but trying to look, stoic.
How long have you been there? Like, how long have you been there to kind of
get ready for it?
Track into
we've been there maybe 5 days, just getting there and getting acclimated.
Sure.
And I get to Bryce's mother.
Yeah.
And she's, 5'2".
Yeah.
I'm 6'4", and I lean down and give her a hug. And she whispers in my ear. She's like, you get in that water and you realize you can't do this. Please know it's okay. The fact that you've loved my son and willing to do this for him is all I could ever ask for as a mother. The weight of those words, her saying that, the weight I carried was gone. It was all I need to hear going,
you're okay.
I'm okay.
What you hadn't heard the whole time.
I'm okay. You're good, man. And I carried so much of that, but I did walk down to the water crying.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You're enough, man.
But I'm like, let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And it was 16 hours and 25 minutes of just grinding and get to the finish line. And we dreamed about this moment. I dreamed about the whole day, but I never took into account the moment of actually crossing that finish line of what that would look like. And we cross. Of course, there's a ton of media because what we do is not common at all.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of media capturing this stuff.
Right.
They don't. Ironman Foundation does not allow family or friends back in the corral to be there because it's there's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Again, my buddies Ryan and Brandon, like, we got 2 moms here. They're coming back,
Mm-hmm.
and bright lights cross the finish line, and I look up. I'm like, Mom,
Your mom.
my mom's there with a medal to put over my head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you follow through.
Mm-hmm.
And I look over, and there's Bryce's mother right there, and they're having this moment, and it's caught on video. Like, it is the most amazing tear-jerking moment you'd ever want to see, because she's seeing her son as an athlete with the cheers of the crowd and all this for the first time. And I stood there. I went, if he asks me to do this again tomorrow, I'll do it. I'll die. But I was like, that was so worth it. And again, that just increased his confidence to go and really explore what he is capable of doing, and not having limitations on himself because he's in a wheelchair, because he needs somebody to do a lot of things for him. It just, like, we're going. And so we've done speaking engagements around the country for the next several years till COVID kind of set in. And then in October 2022, we got invited to the Ironman World Championships in Kona, Hawaii. So now we're starting to come full circle, right?
Yeah.
Where I thought, I had my "you're meant to do more" moment. I never dreamed I'm going to bring somebody back here, because I never thought in my mind, I don't have the physical strength to do this, so I know that's off limits.
Yeah.
That was never the case. And once you start to get into it, you start to surround yourself with people who believe and support and help you to guide through some dark times. We had that moment. We went to Kona, Hawaii, and it was like the most wild thing for Bryce to be on a world championship stage was so powerful. And at this point, I told him, I said, when this is over, like, I'll be 50 at this point. Like, this old man can't keep carrying a lot of this load. So I want to see you grow. I want to see you take off and do your thing.
Yeah.
And I'm here to support you. And however we can work together, we're going to work together. And he's been, the last 3 years, he's, like I said, he's just been growing and working and networking. One of the funniest guys you'll ever meet in the world. And like I say, he's working with the government on disability laws and service animals and all these beautiful things to give back to others.
Yeah.
And it's been a really special deal. And so, a year or so goes by, and I see this lady on social media through Instagram, and I was like, man, she has autism. I know nothing about autism, but I'll follow her. She seems cool. And so I'm seeing her do stuff. And she was one of the first women to ever complete an Ironman in 2023 in Arizona. And I was like, that's impressive.
Wait, one of the first women to
with autism.
Or,
she's definitely, on the spectrum.
Right.
And I got to see this story play out on social media. I'm like, wow, that is so impressive. And so we just started chatting on, here and there. And to the point where she reaches out and said, hey, listen, I got invited to come do some racing with a foundation in Daytona Beach, Florida. This was December of 24 at Daytona Motor Speedway. Would you be willing to be my guide? Because she needs a guide to, remind her to eat, remind her to drink. Now, I'm not physically carrying her or anything,
right,
but I'm guiding her through safety and just a lot of stuff. Because
are you doing it with her? Or are you
I'm doing it with her.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know nothing about autism, but I'll meet you in Daytona and we'll figure this out. And I was terrified. Again, I knew nothing. And we connected, and she's a 38-year-old woman, lives in Green Bay. She's awesome. Her name's Carla. One of the wildest, funniest, just athletes and friend that I ever could have imagined.
Yeah.
And so we started doing some stuff, and then I was like, how cool would it be if I brought Bryce and Carla together and we do a half marathon together.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
I'm kind of bringing all these aspects of my world together to create this community.
Right.
So we did that last March in Atlanta, and I was like, that was cool. And then about a month or so later, she gets an invite to do the Ironman World Championships in Kona. She's like, will you be my guide? I'm like, you mean I'm going back to Hawaii? You mean I got to train again for another Ironman?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah. I'm like, let's do it.
Uh-huh.
And we did that this past 2 months ago.
Okay.
And Kevin, wow.
So did you do that with Bryce and
Yes.
Carla?
Yeah. Yeah. So, Bryce and I had a mechanical issue on our bike that day, so we didn't finish all of it, but we got our money's worth.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a beautiful story that came out of that
Mm-hmm.
that Bryce and I had because we didn't finish. That I'll just tell you this straight up. We had a mechanical issue on the bike. I'm trying to get the bike fixed. I'm also, my blood pressure and heart rate's just out of control because I'm just ugh.
Right.
And to the point where, like, bud, we can't go on. Like, I can't get the bike to work and I'm not feeling well. And so we get brought back into town, and we're in this a Safeway parking lot, just beaming heat of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And he is just like struggling. I'm like, bud, it's okay. It's okay, man. Like, we're good. He's like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. I go, what do you mean I don't understand? Because I had no control over that situation. Had you gotten hurt, had you collapsed, had you anything, I can't reach for my phone. I can't unbuckle to help you. And it was just like seeing my dad die. I had no control over it. And here you are, my friend, my mentor, all the things,
Mm-hmm.
struggling. And it just washed over me and brought that out.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin, I just remember laying there. I put my head in his lap. He's in the chair, like, buddy, like, okay. I thought I got his world and
Mhm.
understood. I didn't understand it until he said that, and how important our relationship was to him. I knew it was important, but like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I think back to, had we finished the race, had we crossed the finish line, that would have been really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't have learned that moment in a Safeway parking lot of him going, I have no control. That's my world on a daily basis. There's so much I can't do. And so that just created this another level of, I need to be more compassionate, more patient, more understanding when I see people in day-to-day life, visually able to see what they're going through or not,
Mm-hmm.
to have that grace and compassion to, like,
Yeah.
it's okay. And so again, we got through it. He did his thing. He's doing great. But now we have Carla, who's an amazing deal. But this time, I'm like, I need a female at part of this camp. So my
Mhm.
sister came out to Hawaii, and she rock star when it came to just like, we're gonna do this, and we're like, how do we do this? Because there was a lot of funny stories.
Yeah.
But it began. There's this whole pressure, like, if she doesn't finish this is gonna be tough. And she finishes that race, Kevin. And again, I get the moment of standing there at the finish line, watching her just let out this tremendous amount of pressure she was putting on herself, because this is a once in a lifetime deal.
Yeah.
And she had that moment. I was like, thank you, God. Thank you for giving me the wherewithal to be physically able to do this,
Mm-hmm.
to the life lessons I had growing up of, you're not good enough, or
Mhm.
these things you play in your mind, but also follow through, son.
Mm-hmm.
Follow through on what you say you're going to do, and it'll all work out. And to see her have that was just like, here we are. Now I'm 53. Obviously health is important.
Yeah.
Keeping my mind, my body,
Yeah.
my orbit as static free as possible.
Mm-hmm.
It is so important to longevity. And because if the mind isn't right, nothing's going to
Yeah.
fall into balance.
So, man, all this just happened 2 months ago.
Mhm.
So it's December now, right? December 18th. And this was just, God, this is all very fresh.
Very fresh.
So what's next, man? I mean, you can do this again.
Of course, because that's, you always get asked, hey, so what's next, Smoke? Whatever the universe says, hey man, you're meant to do more, meant to go do something. This is kind of a dumb idea. Why don't you go try it?
Yeah.
I'll do it. As long as it has a cause and a purpose to helping somebody or organization,
Right.
I'm up for the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Just to go do it, to be doing it, I think is off my plate. But
Mm-hmm.
I think what's the next piece to this is, I've done some speaking engagements. I want to be able to bring that more to light,
Yeah.
to be able to then help create funds and resources for people like Bryce and for Carla who need money to go on a race, money to get shoes because they're on Medicaid.
Yeah.
And if they work more than 21 hours or so a week,
Yeah. Yeah.
they lose benefits.
Right. Isn't that crazy?
And that's a whole different talk for another time.
Yeah.
But like, they're very limited on what they can do, but they want to live life and be just like us.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be able to provide those resources, for all types of, different abilities. And so that's some of what's next is getting to the point of really be able to speak on a more of a broader scale to tell my story, our story together, and tell Carla's story, because there's so much out there. Because people talk about, people who do this typically it's their family member, son or daughter, brother, not just some wild dude off the street who found a kid with cerebral palsy. And so we have this really dynamic relationship of really getting in each other's lives and learning from it. And so I'm very thankful for that. And I want to be able to share that with people in the world, because one thing that I think when you're going through heartache, you're going through tough times, like all the things I went through in life, sometimes you're going to run towards something. Okay. Faith, something that's not non-faith, substance, or materialistic. So for example, like if I just get that new car, if I get that raise, if I get that new house, whatever it is, then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? That's fleeting, right?
Right. Sure.
And I'm still guilty of it to this day. I
Sure.
have moments like, well, I want that new bike. Then I'll be faster. No, I won't. I'll just not look as old maybe as I am. But then getting into this world of the TRI-DAT and working with other people,
Yeah.
instead of chasing a possession, I'm chasing a passion to fill this, that empty cup or whatever we have. We want to fill it with something. It's not just filled. It stays full, because that feeling, man, it's so hard to describe. So I encourage people not to go do Ironmans like what I did, but giving back in some form or fashion, time, monetarily, whatever it is. I promise you, you will not be disappointed in that endeavor.
You're absolutely right. And I feel like myself constantly needs to get reminded, because your default is to, like you said, chase the shiny thing. And that is fleeting. But then if you just get pulled back to remember, whenever you do something altruistic, that you have no gain for it at all. And just, and you're doing something to make somebody else's life better, true, like legit, true, full happiness comes from that. The coolest thing about well, not the coolest thing, but you had these little breadcrumbs that you followed. You didn't have it figured out. It's like, I'm going to find somebody with a disability to take through this.
Right.
And then you get a kid who has so much in common with you that you learn from, and you develop this awesome, and then it just goes down a whole path of, just an enriching journey, man.
It wasn't about racing.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. It was these life moments that we taught each other.
Yeah.
We taught the guys in our circle, like our lives have been forever changed, and it's still evolving. Because I talked to Bryce last week about personal stuff. Like I come to him going, bro, I need to vent.
Yeah.
You're one of the few people in my life that gets it. He's 28 years old, and I'm 53. Like that.
Right.
You're my son's friend, but you're also kind of my friend too, right? You cool? So it is. It's just these breadcrumbs along the way. You start to look back, go, wow, I didn't notice it at the time, but man, it really makes sense now. Makes sense now why my mom would say follow through, to the point where it annoyed me, to the point where you're meant to do more, to follow that voice, because there's something for all of us. We're meant to do more.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks different.
Mm-hmm. So Ryan, you've done a lot of stuff here, and I'm going to ask you, and we can cut this out or not, but the hardest thing you've ever done that no one's applauded you for?
Finding it's not that I've been necessarily been applauded for, because it's hard to be applauded for something when they don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but how I was able to come through the dad stuff and come out doing truly being authentic and not holding a grudge. Because man, that was a lot of like, how dare you, man?
Mm-hmm.
Go away! Don't ever come back! Don't do any, like, I was very much that. You were dead to me.
Mm-hmm.
To, in his final months of life, I was there to take care of him. I was there to bathe him, clean him until he passed. And I was like, God, if this is what I'll do it. Not saying no. I don't want to do this, but I did it. And it brought closure to my life, and it answered some questions I never would have had answered had I not done that. And again, very few people know that. So it's not that I was looking for applause,
Right.
but it was like, there was a lot of healing, a lot of growth that I was going through,
So
trying to go through. In those,
So you showed up in a real way there at the end.
I did, and it was hard. It was so hard. It was
Really?
so hard, but I did it, and I'm like, there's something beautiful will come out of this.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but something will. But man, like, my life has been too blessed
Yeah.
to go, you know what? This is not what I was called to do.
Mm-hmm.
We're called to love.
Mm-hmm.
We're called to serve. And that's, what I did those final 5 months, and it was tough.
5 months.
Yeah. To watch him die.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's coming. It's like, I got to be there to,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to get through this.
Man.
So.
Wow. Well, so so Bryce and Carla.
Yeah.
What are they doing now?
So Carla is working for Goodwill up in a small little town outside of Green Bay,
Mm-hmm.
running constantly. She's always working out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's her outlet
Mm-hmm.
to be able to do. She doesn't have the resources in a small town like you would here, maybe in Oklahoma City. So she's looking for community, and she finds community through social media.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful that she has that, but it's not like this type of community in person.
Right.
And so she finds it through racing. So any type of 5K, 10, anything, she'll drive or fly to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
So she's doing that and just really understanding how to get through life.
Mm-hmm.
And her and I instead of doing physical stuff, we work on life skills. So I said, for the next year, because I trained her the past year for Hawaii,
Mm-hmm.
like, let's work on life skills together.
Mm-hmm.
About on keeping your room and your bathroom, organized.
Mm-hmm.
Because at times I'm having a conversation with a child.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are things we're working on today.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and Bryce he's
doing his thing.
He's doing his thing, man. He's on the go.
Man, what a difference. You have not wasted your life, brother. And we're only halfway through.
Halfway through. Yeah. I got at least till 100.
Yeah. And then some.
And then some. Yeah.
Well, so how do people find you, all this stuff? What's the connection here? How do people look you up, TRI-DAT, follow the stuff? And then people need to look at your stuff and see some of these pictures that we talked about.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can put links to some of this stuff, but
Yeah.
the YouTube stuff, I put more stuff on my personal Instagram. That's where you get more of the full story of what I do. But the TRI-DAT 360 is, the Instagram. piece to it. But I'm always, like I said, always doing something.
And that's TRI-DAT 360.
Yeah, I think
right?
maybe underscore. Yeah, there's something.
It'll come up.
It'll come up. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's how people can find me. The opportunity to, just tell that story, to inspire others, to you're meant to do more.
Yeah.
And to follow through. It's so crazy.
Hey, before we do wrap, I do want to hear, you know what I'm going to ask?
I do.
So the thing that really shot this over the edge and made me think, okay, I got to call Ryan. This is what the heck?
This guy's
So
nuts.
that I see you paddleboarding in the middle of the ocean. There's some footage there, and you're going to paddleboard from like the Bahamas to Florida or something. And there's a story behind that
There is.
that I just want to hear. And
Yeah. So 2 years ago, no, it was about a year and a half ago. I was like, I saw this race from Bimini, Bahamas to, West Palm Beach, Florida, something like that. 88 miles for cystic fibrosis through a foundation called Piper's Angels. I'm like, what is cystic fibrosis? Because I really don't know. And what is this thing? And I was like, okay, you raise money, you're on a stand-up paddleboard, and you paddle from here to there. And it's in June, and it starts at midnight. And I don't have a paddleboard. We're in Oklahoma, and I don't know how to do this. So the wheel started spinning. I bought a legit paddleboard, trained for almost a year in Oklahoma on this, thinking I'm good to go. Like, I got this. Me and my same two buddies, Ryan and Brandon, like, you got to come with me. And we got partnered up with this guy who's a captain, boat captain, because you have to have a boat escorting you. He's apparently done this before. We had a few conversations on the phone. We're good.
Yeah.
Raise money. We got this. Let's go. We fly down. We meet the guy. We buy a bunch of groceries. So we're going to meet you at this pier at this time.
in Florida.
In Florida.
Okay.
Then we're going to over to the Bahamas. And I started to see this guy's a little bit shady. I'm seeing some weird stuff. Like, something's not smelling right here. And we're literally at a Shell gas station in June, sweating with groceries. I'll be there in 5 minutes. An hour and a half later, he finally comes whipping in, and he looked like hot trash. Immediately, I knew this guy's coked out of his mind. I went, uh-oh. Very unhealthy. I'm like, is he going to die of a heart attack?
Yeah.
He has PAD. He's all the things. I'm like, oh, this is not good. I'm like, we've come too far. Well, we got to go. And so we get in the car, get to the boat, and the boat's not working. Like, trouble. I'm like, oh, we can get it fixed. I'm like, do we got to be leaving to get to the Bahamas to get ready for this race?
Is this morning or?
This is like 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
Okay.
And I'm like,
the race is tomorrow.
It's 2 days. It was the day after.
Okay.
And so we're at the boat ramp. He's blocking one of the boat ramps and all this stuff, and he's just being an ass.
Right.
And another boat's trying to get in, and next thing I know, this mountain of a man on the boat ramp is yelling a lot of profanity about him getting his boat out of the way. Of course, this small bowling ball of a guy starts coked out of his mind, who's starting to shoot his mouth off.
Oh, no.
Bleep you, bleep you, bleep you. I'm like, oh, man. And here comes the guy walking. I went, oh. I'm like, I'm a big guy. This is a really big guy. And he's right here, man.
Right.
I don't know you.
I'm not going to step in your way.
He's like, he pulls out a flare gun. I'll shoot you. And all these words. I went, Jim, stop it right now. We're moving this boat. Knock it off. And I was just over it. My buddy, Ryan and Brandon, sitting in the front of the boat going, oh, why did I follow Smoak again and do another wild idea? So we'll leave the next morning. We'll get it fixed. All this nonsense. And so we schlep all our stuff, leave most of it on the boat, like, where we're going to take it. So we go get a hotel room, and he says, I'll meet you in the morning. He's nowhere to be found. And I knew another guy that was there, that lived in Florida. I said, come pick me up. I was able to find another boat leaving in an hour.
Right.
About 30 minutes north, heading over. And they're like, we don't know you. You're from Oklahoma. Like, our boat's full. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I understand. Like, this is over. This is not happening. hang up the phone, and then like 5 minutes later, they call back. Hey, if you can be here in 45 minutes, you can come with us. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, okay. And so I'm just ripping stuff out of my backpack, but there's no room for your buddies. I'm like, you cool guys? I'm like, you got to go, man.
Are you taking your equipment, your board
Well,
and stuff? Okay.
I go to the guy comes to pick me up, and I go, we got to go to where the boat is to get all the groceries, get all the supplies, get the stuff loaded in your car, and we got to go. We get to his boat, get there. Everything but the board was stolen.
Oh gosh.
Kevin, I'm like going, oh, I have nothing. Just the board. Thankfully, the board was there. Grab the board, put it on the car.
That's in whatever, Joe's boat or whatever.
Yeah, Jimmy Joe, whatever.
Yeah,
It just, he's, and I'm like, there was no way that boat was getting fixed.
Right.
And I'm like, just go.
Right.
And we pull into this marina, and I see the boat, and I'm like, ooh, that boat is nice. Nice. And like, we're like, what this may work out. Grab my stuff, run, jump on the boat. I don't know anybody. Untie, and off we went.
Okay.
And I'm shaking hands like I'm Ryan and all this stuff. And at this point, I'm not on their boat to come back on the race. Like, I still have to go find a boat that will let me, I can paddle off the back of their boat.
Right.
Because you just can't go completely solo.
Right.
I had no supplies. And this little Bimini Bahamas, there's no grocery store. Like, there's virtually nothing there.
And you don't have any supplies. Everything was
Nothing.
taken.
So I get there, I check into my hotel, a little hotel, if you want to call it. And there's a banquet that night.
Mm-hmm.
And I am networking my tail off do you have any extra protein bars? Do you have any Gatorade? And I'm like, I'm a grown, successful man that does well. And I am here. More soup, please. Just all these things. And people are like, dude, you're weird.
Yeah.
Hey, can I get on your boat? I'm hustling.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, no, our boat's full. Our boat's full. And I'm like, okay, I got a problem here. And I texted the people I rode over with. I'm like, listen, I hate to be that guy. Because they were kind of like, yeah, we're full. I'm like, if you say no, you say no. I completely understand. But I have no way to get back. And I wake up to a text that morning like, hey, you're coming with us. We got you. Our supplies are your supplies. I'm like, seriously?
Mm-hmm.
And so we set out at midnight that evening, and it was.
You probably haven't slept much.
Haven't slept much.
There wasn't that prep time.
I was so stressed.
Right.
All these things.
Yeah.
So we set out for midnight, and it was a different, like, paddling in Oklahoma is one thing. Mm-hmm. Paddling on the Atlantic Ocean. Mm-hmm. It's like, again, my stomach's like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
But I remember sitting on the board at 2 a.m. looking up and just seeing how dark and all the stars. I'm like, wow, this is so powerful. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's underneath this water right now that could tear my foot off, but I don't care, because all the stress that I went through, this was worth it, because those people on that boat took me in and showed grace and showed love, and like, were the most amazing people in the world. Mm-hmm. And I threw up more than I ever thrown up in my life in front of strangers. Mm-hmm. And just hanging over their boat, just like this is just, and you can't get away from it because you're in the middle of the ocean. Yeah. Thankfully, a storm came in.
And you had 5 scopolamine patches or something.
Yes, I had all over my wrist. I was that guy. Mm-hmm. And they're like, hey, there's a storm coming. Everybody needs to move closer. I went, thank you, God. So we got closer. I got in. My buddies were at the beach. Did a lot of it. Yeah. And I was like, I will never do that again. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those, I was like, this seems like a crazy challenge, but it's good for a great cause. Yeah. I learned about the cause. And through the process of just obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, Mom's voices, fall through. And I did. My buddies were like, you got this, man. Like, something good's going to come of this. Mm-hmm. Don't know what, but something's good. Good is going to come. Mm-hmm. And it did. I met amazing people. I had a beautifully horrific experience. Mm-hmm. And I raised money for a great cause. Yeah. And I'll never do that again. Mm-hmm. I have a beautiful paddleboard if anybody wants to buy it. Sits in my house. But yeah, and my buddy's like, you're a ready, shoot, aim,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, kind of guy. And sometimes they're like, you shoot, aim, then maybe
Yeah.
be ready. Like that's just kind of how a part of my life is, because it wasn't that for so long. I was so buttoned up on
Yeah.
like, I cannot mess up.
Yeah.
To now, like, we got this, man. Like, let's go
roll
and
with it.
let's roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Man. And that's led you to like really having an enriched last 20, 30 years, man.
absolutely.
You're just, I think you're just really on a roll, man.
Well, thank you so much.
It'll be fun to watch where you go. I'm glad we reconnected, dude. This has really been all about me. I really appreciate it. It's been great. But yeah, so back again, people find you like at Rian Smoak, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Or
If you can
at
put it, yeah,
TRI-DAT
it's
and-
the Rian Smoak deal. If you want
Or
to,
TRI-DAT or and then Bryce and Carla. That's
yeah,
so great, man. I really appreciate you being here. Is there anything else you want to say or wrap up?
I think, you know, watching you,
Yeah.
like I've known you since you were like 14,
Yeah.
and we went to church together, went to college together. You went off to med school and did all
Mhm.
these things, and I'm like, I know your wife really well, and it's just, I think the beauty of community,
Mhm.
how people come in your life for a period of time,
Yeah.
they leave,
Yeah.
and sometimes they come back in. You're like, man, you've come in my life at a really cool time, or your time, or at a time where it's supposed to happen,
Yeah.
and it just, certain things just click.
Mhm.
And so I'm thankful for all the friendships you and I have had with our people,
Mhm.
and where our lives are headed. It's so cool to see us now as adults going, you made it, Kevin. I worried about you for so long, and so many times going, Kevin is like, he's got some issues.
Getting off the rails.
He's off the rails.
Yeah.
Like he's wild, and a good wild,
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that hyper kid. But what you've done and what you're building here
Yeah.
in Oklahoma City, which is not the most,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
ground zero for beacon of health.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
so powerful to see how this community is growing from a plant-based standpoint, and you know, just overall health and body movement.
Mhm.
It's pretty cool to see it happen, and I'm so glad you're, you know, more at the tip of the spear of leading that
Sure.
for us.
Yeah, it's been great. Man, again, thanks for the time. This has been truly fascinating.
Absolutely,
Love you, dude.
love you, man.
Thanks everyone for listening, and yeah, give us a follow and give us a review, and see you guys next time. Thank you.